Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to All Things Social Security. I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at Joy Disability. Welcome to the channel, and I hope you enjoy the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Stephanie Joy with All Things Social Security and the law practice of Joy Disability. Okay, so someone was asking about, can you do a video explanation discussing, the person was agitated, understandably so, so the gist of it is how some adult children who were auxiliary beneficiaries of a parent who became disabled, died, or retired while being insured for Social Security retirement, or became on Social Security disability, of course. So the gist of it was the person was obviously aware of, experience, perhaps him or herself, that some kids grown up find out and there was an auxiliary benefit that they were entitled to and received. They now think once they hit 18 or above at some point that that money should be in their hand, like it came in for those 15 years while someone else was supporting them, and that it should never have been spent on them. It should have been saved for them so that they can then go and do whatever they're going to do with it. I understand the urge to think that, we come into adulthood and we're flat broke usually, unless we come from a silver spoon. So I get that, but they need to know the reality of the situation because they are entirely incorrect. Getting back to it, the monies were never for your unfettered use. They were not designed to be saved and not used for your basic needs as you're growing up. And it's irrespective of if the other parent could afford to pull the full weight and support you without the deceased parents. Let's just say it's a survivor, deceased parents' auxiliary benefit he or she bought. That's not their duty. That is the gift your deceased parent gave you, as a continued roof over your head. Those basics. That was what that program is for. It's only when someone doesn't need to and chooses not to use it for that, and instead figures out another way to, well, I'm going to use it for that, but then I'm going to, of my own money, put it over here for that child so that later on, if that child, grows up enough to be responsible with it, I can give him a gift of this because I'm the one that footed that living bill instead of the deceased parent. In the end, once I give it away, that would be what it is. Like that enabled this parent to better save for their child's adult future because she or he did not have to foot both sides of the parental bill because the parent who died had this insurance that provided the auxiliary benefit for that purpose. All right. And that's a little hint for other parents who maybe are considering leaving all the money in a bank account, the representative payee bank account, because I will tell you that if you do that and you're spending the bills, even the ones that are, to be covered by the auxiliary benefit, but you're just taking it out of your bank account that you normally use, blah, 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 blah. At the end, the SSA, when the child turns 18, is going to say, hey, if you have any money left over, keyword left over, send it to us, and we are going to give it to this now adult who gets whatever's left over that wasn't needed for their basic keep. And so now this 18-year-old, and I'm sorry if you're the 18-year-old, but you know how many 18-year-olds are. I've got like 2 of them. That 18-year-old would then have feasibly $10,000, $100,000, and I can invariably say, well, I shouldn't say invariably. I bet you 99% of the time that money would be blown, or that young adult would be taken advantage of, by someone who knows they just came into some money and they don't have the capacity to make cautionary, conservative decisions with that money so it can help them far greater, perhaps in a few years, properly invested. Maybe once they have skills and maybe they want to start a business, but that's not the time to do it. You don't do it where you're putting in big investment when you don't have the skills yet. Some will go out and buy a fancy car. It's like, okay, that's going to be a wasted asset. So that is the danger. This is to the parents of just thinking you're going to let that RP account for your child just grow. I'll pay those bills over here out of my own money. Not probably the best way to do it. I would think you would want a slightly different way of doing it with a different legal paper trail of how that all went. Just my opinion. If it were me, I thought about it for years, of course, ever since I've been in this field. Maybe not the first couple of years, but after that, because you just never know when it's going to be. It could be you being an RP, God forbid, because your child's other parent passes away. So I've thought about all these things from a personal point of view. Anyway, to the person who asked about, can we set the record straight for some survivor children who think they're entitled to this money? Yeah, we definitely can. I know I got a little sharp there, kids, but it's just such an unhealthy way to think and to be, and it's also contrary to the law. So thank you for the video idea. I think it can help other people. I really hope it helps young people come to understand a little bit more about adulthood and what that benefit is for. Try to have a little bit of grace and forgiveness if you think you were not cared for in the manner that would have been ideal for you. By and large, most parents try their darn best to do the best job they can, yet they are human too. So think about all the mistakes you make. You're going to still make them when you're an adult. And if you have kids one day, you're going to still make them. And you're going to be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That's me every day. So just try to be happier with you. And that money never would have made you happy to begin with. And in any event, it's not something you are entitled to as a general rule. If you had a roof properly put over your head, however modest it was, sometimes those of us that grow up in the most modest households end up being the most, I don't know, grateful later on in life. So there's something to be said for that. And to the parents out there that are hearing this kind of flack from your adult children, hang in there. Well, show them the video if you want. They probably won't like me too much, but you should like me, guys, because I'm on your side. I'm on your side, but you need to know what those benefits are for so you are not misconstruing them and then hating somebody that you shouldn't be hating. Okay. Spread the love, guys. All right. I will talk to you all later. I hope you had a great week. Yeah, it is Friday, but you're probably not going to see this until, I don't know, maybe Monday or next week. And I hope it serves its purpose. Have a great one. Bye, guys.